All right, folks, welcome back. More with the Malzberg panel. Senior analyst for LIGNET, Lisa Ruth, and founder of Less Government, Seton Moltey. What you just heard Francesca talk about, Lisa, Vladimir Putin's vow to protect Russians wherever he can, wherever the law allows, and also the end of the 10-day ceasefire. Where are we with this? Are we kind of back to square one in a sense?
In many ways, yes, I would think so. Although I don't think it's terribly surprising here. You know, Putin has made it very clear from the beginning, to the point of invading Ukraine, or whatever wording you want to use, and Georgia. I do think this sets up again, this is a reminder, he's not backing down. Ukraine is in a very difficult situation. The crisis has not gone away, although we've been distracted by Iraq. And I do think Putin will continue to protect Russians overseas. There's just no question.
All right, well, let's move back a little closer to here, Seton. And there's a report out today from the Inspector General with regard to Obamacare, and coverage for about 2.6 million people are now in jeopardy because this Inspector General has found widespread flaws when it comes to gauging and finding out wages of people, accurate wages, of qualifications for subsidies, qualifications for the health care plan they've chosen. 2.9 million people in question with this problem, or one of those problems at least, and 2.6 of the 2.9 million people, they can't figure it out. They might all lose any coverage they have. And this is not being reported anywhere. This is just a disaster that continues and continues.
It's a slow motion train wreck, and those of us who are watching it have to endure it while most of America is not given the information. It almost sounds like the website didn't work, because I would imagine a well-built website would be able to properly delineate, based upon the information you give, what subsidies for which you qualify, what plans you qualify. But none of this seems to have happened under the Obamacare website. Look, the government, it's been said all over the internet. The government loses 2 years worth of emails because they can't back up the servers at the IRS. But they're going to A, build a Obamacare website that's going to work, B, manage the millions of people that come in and determine what they can and can't qualify for, and then C, of course, on a separate note, they're just going to commandeer control of the internet, because they're the experts on all things World Wide Web.
Right.
It's a disaster. It's going to continue to be a disaster until we can repeal it. And any Republican who's given up on doing that is a clown, because they first proposed national health care in 1945 under Truman. They've been very patient to get here. We need to be a little more patient to get rid of it.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm with you, but it's going to take Republicans with the guts to, first of all, do it, and also with the political power to do it. Lisa Ruth and Seton Moltey, thank you both for being on the panel. We appreciate it. See you soon. And yeah, folks, you know, this is just something that you're not going to hear about on the nightly news. Well, you don't hear about the IRS scandal on a nightly basis either, do you? So don't expect to hear about this. But they're severely under their goal for brand new brand new enrollees. In other words, people who never had health care before, severely under that number. That's not reported either. We'll have more on that. And we'll be right back with more of the Steve Malzberg Show. But first, today's American Moment, taking a look at President Nixon's 1972 trip to China.
His presidency was one of the most vexing in American history. Mention the name Richard Milhous Nixon, and some will always remember him as the president who resigned over Watergate. But many others will credit him with one of the greatest diplomatic achievements, the reestablishment of relations between the United States and the People's Republic of China.
As I have pointed out on a number of occasions over the past 3 years, there can be no stable and enduring peace without the participation of the People's Republic of China and its 750 million people.
For 25 years, diplomatic relations between the two great nations had chilled, following the United States' decision to recognize Taiwan as the legitimate government of China. President Nixon and his then National Security Advisor, Dr. Henry Kissinger, reached out to his communist adversary to change that.
The meeting between the leaders of China and the United States is to seek the normalization of relations between the two countries, and also to exchange views on questions of concern to the two sides.
On February 21st, 1972, President Nixon, along with his wife Pat, arrived in Beijing. He was feted by the Chinese and honored by no less a figure than Chairman Mao himself. Richard Nixon's opening of China to the West has been described as genius, the boldest diplomatic move on the global chessboard in a century. In one stroke, Nixon had separated communist China from the Soviet Union, reducing the power of the communist bloc and paving the way for the eventual end of the Cold War. For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American Moment.